That's something we need to work with. Not in mental care syndrome, we will meet. We are so special, so we need our own methods, we need our own framework. Maybe it works on the other companies, but here, no. And we have the old habits. Even if you like to change, it's very easy to fall back into the old habits. Maybe we are used to a way of working for 10 years, 20 years. And so then, even if we are positive to the change, we can easily fall back. And it's ignorance. We must take into account that we must use time to argue with people that hasn't really read anything about Scrum or doesn't bother to know anything about it. And that can be quite exhausting. Scrum is actually breaking a lot of the rules. The truth you learn in business school, for instance, or management or organizational development, stuff like that. There are some truth out there that is not longer true. And it's positions, and that's maybe the most important one. People feel their own position threatened by this. And that can be both formal positions and informal positions. Okay? So, it will take time to change. And for most companies, Scrum represent very, very large changes. Do you agree?
Yeah.
Good. So Scrum is only a tool. Scrum can make this a bit easier. Scrum will give you a vocabulary that is good. Scrum will give you an opportunity to learn. Scrum, the only thing Scrum is promising you is that you will see your weaknesses. They will come to the surface. Scrum is designed to surface problems. So when you see a problem, you have the opportunity to solve it. You don't get new problems, you just see the problems you already have. So use Scrum for that. But it's hard work. To become agile, you should start with trying to understand the underlying philosophy. It starts actually with people like Edward Fleming, Toyota Production Systems, and lean management. It's very good to understand these things. And then we must read and understand the Agile Manifesto, what that's all about. And of course, try to understand Scrum. And then it's time to make a decision and plan for a change and do the change. And then we need to practice. And inspect and adapt and practice. And the nice thing about Scrum is that you will be forced to practice over and over again. You are doing the same things.
Yes, can we practice on real products? We are developing some kind of products, and we don't go to practice on something what is what gives us some value, some money. So we don't want to blow up our development process. How can we? What is the way how we should practice to become a good in Scrum without doing it on a production environment? If
not everybody is convinced yet, you need to show a success story. Yeah, that's a good idea. So I would recommend that you start using Scrum in a small part of the organization. A part that is very well suited for Scrum, and ensure that you succeed. It's not very huge risk to apply Scrum. I mean, you cannot go very far in the wrong direction with Scrum. It's much more risky to introduce, for instance, rational unified process. Yeah. Scrum is it's a lightweight framework. It's about learning. It cannot be very dangerous to introduce Scrum. But it's not a good idea to say tomorrow we start with Scrum in full, all over the company. That's probably not a good idea. But there are stories about one medium-sized company called Salesforce.com who introduced Scrum in 3 months. There was a couple of hundred employees, as far as I remember, and they just had everybody run through a Scrum course. They had, I think, Jeff Sutherland himself as a Scrum coach, and they turned the company upside down in 3 months. The whole company. It's possible, but maybe not recommended. No, this is about practicing and do inspect and adapt. How much can it hurt?
I have a question about that because in Scrum you get fixed time frames, iterations.
Yep.
And when a company is accustomed to doing tasks on demand, for example, manager says this should be done for Friday, and with an iteration he has to wait for the end of the iteration. That isn't very nice for him, and that is also something Scrum cannot easily solve, because when you don't do iterations, you are not doing Scrum. So, what is the answer for such manager?
Well, yeah, it's true that some managers experience that after Scrum things becomes more difficult for them because they now need to plan. I mean, they need to be a bit more careful about who they interrupt and what work they impose on people that has committed to a plan. Because a short-term plan, maybe only 14 days, and the team has committed to that plan. It's not a good idea to interrupt too much. So some managers are annoyed by Scrum. Yes, that's true. And but there's no solution to that problem. Have the manager go to a Scrum course. I mean, it's probably not a large problem. I've never seen that as a large problem. It's a small, irritating thing in the beginning, but when they understand the rules and what effect they can get out of it.
I worked for a company where for 1 year we were trying to do Scrum, and that problem was a constant grievance for our manager that we were accustomed to old way of doing things.
So he is used to have their attention. As soon as he enters the room, he gets everybody's attention there. I mean, some managers are like that. You simply cannot do that anymore. You shouldn't do that anymore, because you have now people that has committed to a goal. And that creates a tremendous focus. And that's great.
I've got one first question. Can we use or can we organize a team for solving incidents to work with Scrum?
Incident management,
Yeah,
problem
incident
management. Yeah.
Yeah, that's problems from production that can't fly.
So if your business actually is maintenance and or application management or incident management, maybe you should not use Scrum, because if your situation is that you cannot plan for 1 week, yeah,
And I got simple case in my head, like a product which is still developing. For example, version 1.0 is on a production, clients use it, and we are doing 1.1 or 2.0. And should we use the same people to make a new version and solve incidents because they are
Yes.
skilled?
yeah, but you should always, I mean, the people that create the bad quality must get that feedback as fast as possible themselves. Because the task of the Scrum team is to deliver less and less bugs.
Yes, but here occurs the same problem that my friend, I guess, asked. Because if you have a problem, you have to solve it as fast as you can.
Yeah.
And this can ruin the iteration, yeah, commitment.
Not sure whether it's a part of Scrum, but there is this role of Batman, which is a team member for one iteration that is doing nothing and waiting for an emergency, and then he handles the cases when something is going on.
Doing nothing but waiting.
Well, here, for example, investigate and
That's
let.
the firefighter.
Yeah, but then you
You
change
should bury it.
then you change that person every iteration. So like members are switching this role, and in the free time you can learn new stuff or practice whatever.
You can plan some free
So
time.
what would you recommend?
It's kind of you need to find out the capacity of the team. For example, that's 50% of the time for the sprints they need to have for bugs or administration or whatever, and that's how you count it. Then you can know how much they can produce for spend time on development implementation, and you have always this buffer of 50, for example, 50% for the bug solving. That's how,
Yeah.
how we can
So
do it.
you
For example.
you must try to collect some experience. How much is it normally that this team will be interrupted by unplanned work? This is the assumption now is that these items of work cannot be planned, and they are very, very urgent. So you just need to drop whatever you are doing right now and fight that fire, and then going back again. So what you need to do then is to collect data, try to find out what kind of fires are there, what kind of bugs is it? Is it our own bugs or is it somebody else's bug? Who needs that feedback? Because we cannot accept to deliver bugs. It creates work. It creates what you call failure demand for our work.